Hey, Washington Commanders fans, you're about to find out who could be the pass rusher that will transform our defense from one of the worst to one of the best in the league. But it doesn't stop there. Let's dive into how the new offensive coordinator, David Blough, can turn Luke McCaffrey into the next Amon-Ra St. Brown, revealing the secrets behind this strategy that worked in Detroit. And there's more. You'll understand why Marcus Mariotta's renewal should be one of the Commanders' top priorities this offseason, and how he saved our season despite all the adversities. And of course, don't forget to hit the like button. It's just one click, it's quick, and it's all I ask. The Washington Commanders need to bolster their pressure on defense this offseason, and this is a glaring need that all of us fans recognize. Our defense struggled this season due to a lack of players who could consistently pressure the opposing quarterback. As a fan who followed every game, I can say this was one of our biggest weaknesses and needs to be urgently fixed. Fortunately for us, there are several top options in the draft to select a high-level defensive end or linebacker. With the 7th overall pick, the Commanders could secure a defensive pillar for the unit that will serve us for many years. ESPN analyst Jordan Reed suggested the team would select edge rusher David Bailey from Texas Tech in his first-round mock draft. Washington has only 2 defensive linemen under contract for next season, and both are recovering from injuries that will keep them out for the remainder of the season. The Commanders need young pass rushers, and Bailey was the most productive in the country, leading the FBS with 14.5 sacks this season, wrote Reed. These numbers are impressive and show that Bailey is a force of nature on the field. He also had 23 tackles for loss, and his pressure rate of 21% was the highest among all FBS defenders. Bailey's excellent burst off the line helps him easily get past blockers, and he is a sturdy defender with a diverse repertoire of quarterback pressure moves and powerful hands. Bailey's performance against Oregon in the college football playoff quarterfinals was one of the best I've seen from any defender this season. David Bailey should undoubtedly be on the Commanders' radar. Besides Reuben Bain Jr. From Miami, Bailey could be the best pass rusher in the draft. If Bain is available at the 7th overall pick, the team should select him without hesitation. However, there is a good chance he'll be chosen by one of the first 6 teams, so we need to have a solid plan B. Bailey is far from a consolation prize, as he could be an excellent pass rusher in the NFL from day one. Bailey had 14.5 sacks and 19.5 tackles for loss in his All-American season with Texas Tech, numbers that speak for themselves. As a fan, I get excited just thinking about having him wearing our jersey and terrorizing the NFC East quarterbacks. The NFL Draft is scheduled to take place from April 23 to 25 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I can't wait to see who we will select. It's a crucial moment for the future of the franchise, and we need to nail this pick to take the next step towards success. The pressure is on Adam Peters to make the right choice. And now, get ready to understand how David Blough can turn Luke McCaffrey into a star. You'll discover the secrets of the strategy that worked in Detroit with Amon-Ra St. Brown and how it can be applied in Washington to get the best out of our receiver. The Washington Commanders made an interesting decision by hiring David Blough as their next offensive coordinator, but there is at least some history that shows the change can not only be successful, but can be particularly beneficial for a player like wide receiver Luke McCaffrey in his 3rd year in the league. As a fan, I'm optimistic about this hiring. When McCaffrey was selected by Commanders general manager Adam Peters in the 3rd round of the 2024 NFL Draft, he was introduced as a big slot receiver who would likely be better utilized in the short and intermediate areas of the field, relying primarily on yards after the catch to generate big plays. That was the initial vision, but it was not fully explored. Unfortunately, over 2 seasons, McCaffrey's potential was not fully tapped under the previous offensive system in Washington. Blough, however, with his experience in an offense that revealed a similar receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown, with the Detroit Lions, could be the key to getting the best out of him. It's a bold comparison, but one that makes sense when we examine the details. Because, of course, the coach's role makes all the difference in a player's development. In his first 8 games, St. Brown certainly exceeded expectations for his draft position, having been selected in the 4th round of the 2021 NFL Draft, with 27 receptions for 250 yards. It wasn't extraordinary, but it was a good performance for a day 3 pick in any year. The effect of Ben Johnson on St. Brown was transformative. Then, after 8 games, the Lions coach, Dan Campbell, made a change, placing tight ends coach Ben Johnson in charge of the team's aerial attack, while he took on the responsibility of calling plays himself. After the change, St. Brown exploded on the field in a way that no one expected. In the final 9 games of his rookie season, St. Brown managed another 63 receptions for 662 yards and scored 5 touchdowns. He also carried the ball 7 times for 61 yards and another touchdown, far surpassing the production he had generated in the first half of the season. It was an impressive transformation that completely changed his career. If that change to Johnson, who had never coordinated an offense before, hadn't happened, then St. Brown wouldn't have finished with 912 yards as a rookie drafted in the 4th round. That's not to say that McCaffrey will be, or even can be for Washington, what St. Brown is for the Lions, but who can say that he can't be? The parallel between the two players is interesting. Both players possess unique skills to operate in what some call the power slot position. While St. Brown certainly appears faster on video than McCaffrey. Each of their abilities to operate in the 0 to 9 yard area from the line of scrimmage is something one has already demonstrated, while the other can be explored in the near future. Becoming a player who moves the chains and a quick threat opens up space for defenders to become overly aggressive, which in turn creates opportunities for misdirection that results in longer plays and room to gain yardage after the catch. It's a smart strategy that works when executed well. This is how St. Brown achieves most of his big plays, averaging nearly 8.5 yards per target over 5 seasons, 4 of which resulted in Pro Bowl selections and 3 All-Pro honors. And this is how McCaffrey, with a system that highlights this skill, could become a similar threat in Washington. In summary, McCaffrey doesn't need to be the primary threat in long passes to impact the aerial game, because as defenders are forced to retreat to the short area of the field to neutralize him, they become unable to protect the deeper areas of the field, where other players like Terry McLaurin can exploit gaps in the secondary defense. It's a tactical game of chess. Why Jayden Daniels completes the puzzle is critical to understand, but you need the system and the quarterback for that to happen. In his rookie season, Daniels completed over 80% of his passes directed to the short area on the left side of the field, an area where St. Brown dominates in Detroit, and where McCaffrey could excel here. If there's anything we've learned from Johnson's offense when he was with the Lions, it's that it's more about a collective effort than a one-man show. Over time with the Chicago Bears, I hope we see that collective effort solidify, as he has the opportunity to integrate more and more offensive players. Blough was there at the beginning of it all, when Johnson was just starting out. Just like him, no one expects Blough to be the next Ben Johnson. But this version of David Blough carries the unique experience of having witnessed that transformation firsthand and much more. It's an invaluable asset that could benefit our entire team. So who knows what he might accomplish when he finally gets the chance to put those teachings into practice against NFL defenses in 2026. As a fan, I'm eager to find out and hope McCaffrey becomes a star in our offense. And now to wrap up, let's understand why renewing Marcus Mariota should be one of the top priorities for the Commanders this offseason. You will discover how he saved our season and why losing him would be a colossal mistake that could cost us dearly in 2026. The Washington Commanders need to make a decision this offseason about who will be Jayden Daniels' backup quarterback for the 2026 season. As a fan, I believe this is one of the most important decisions the front office needs to make, as we've seen this season how crucial a good backup is for the success of the team. Marcus Mariota has held the position for the past 2 years, but he is a free agent, and other teams may try to sign him, taking him out of the nation's capital. NFL.com journalist Nick Shook recommended that the Commanders re-sign Mariota in the spring, and I fully agree with that assessment. Jayden Daniels suffered 3 distinct injuries in 2025, which cost him a significant portion of his second season in the NFL. Washington was not a good football team as a result, but the Commanders would have been exponentially worse if Mariota had not been available to step in, Shook wrote. That is the plain truth. Mariota and Washington have taken a cautious approach over the past 2 seasons, with the quarterback signing consecutive 1-year contracts. He received a $2 million bump last March and is again approaching free agency after starting 8 games and appearing in 11 contests, his highest totals in both categories since 2022. He posted respectable numbers and was not the reason the Commanders lost most of their games as a starter. This management just experienced over an entire season what it is like to live without a star quarterback. Those responsible should know very well how valuable Mariota can be to them. Shook continued. It's a perfect analysis of the situation. Mariota is the key for the Commanders to maintain some stability. Mariota ended up starting more games than Daniels last season, proving how important he was to the overall functioning of the team. Without him, we would have had an even more disastrous season, if that is possible. It's crucial for teams to have great backup quarterbacks, and Mariota is certainly among the best backups in the NFL. Having him back on the roster would be a tremendous help for the Commanders, and as a fan, I hope the front office recognizes this and does what it takes to keep him in Washington. The management has emphasized the importance of continuity with the promotion of David Blough to offensive coordinator, so bringing Mariota back for a 3rd season with the team would help with that narrative. Familiarity with the system and the players is invaluable, and we cannot underestimate that factor. So, fan, after hearing about the potential of drafting David Bailey to revolutionize our pass rush, the possibility of David Blough turning Luke McCaffrey into the next Amon-Ra St. Brown, and the critical importance of re-signing Marcus Mariota, which of these 3 moves do you believe will have the biggest impact on the success of the Commanders in 2026? And more importantly, do you trust that Adam Peters and Dan Quinn will make the right choices to take us back to the playoffs? Or are there still doubts about their ability to build a winning team? Leave your opinion in the comments. I want to know what you think about the future of the Washington Commanders.